Hello everybody, hopefully this is working. This is the first time that I've ever tried to do this kind of video where it captures what's actually on the screen while I'm talking. So this is for Albert, who wants to make this kind of inventory sheet for his birds, or maybe like a breeding list or something. So this is basically the sample sheet, which is set up the exact same way that my dad does it. But I've entered a bunch of fake band numbers and stuff. So over here, you see you have the inventory. X's means that, they're checked off, they're in there. This is short for missing. For whatever reason they're not in the loft. Maybe they got hit by a hawk and they're gone, or maybe they were sick, or maybe they were sold. However you want to do it. So you can see that obviously we have some headers and stuff up here. And normally you would go by these numbers over here as to what order everything's in, but since we have the headers pushing everything down, we added a number column right here, so you can tell what number everything is in order. But anyway, so what Albert wants to work on is he wants to make sure he knows how to sort everything, because I mentioned that I like to sort my list when my dad sends it to me by the sire. That way I can see how many babies each pair has actually produced for me. Right now you can see that it is sorted by band number, which I left this blank on purpose so I could show you how to do this. Obviously, unless something happens, all your babies are going to be in order, 123, 124, this would be 125, and so on. So to make that easy, instead of having to type them all in individually, one thing you can do is highlight whatever numbers you already have typed in and go all the way down to the end of your list, and then you go up here to edit, and you go down here to fill, and you click series, and this allows it to fill in everything in numerical order for you. So you start at 123. You can put an end value if you want to, but you don't really need to as long as you set the increment, because you've already highlighted all the spaces that you want it to be filled in. So you just press OK, and now you have all your numbers, nice and easy. So let's get to sorting this. Right now, if you were to just go up here and sort it, which is right here under data, it says sort, it would sort everything on the page. So let's see. Well, maybe it's not going to do it because I already highlighted it earlier. But anyway, sometimes it'll want to sort the whole page, including your headers. So it'll do it like in alphabetical order, or however you want to do it. And the word sire might end up somewhere way down here at the bottom of your list. So what I do is I highlight all the areas that I want to be sorted, which is all this information. Hold on, I don't need all these extra boxes to be sorted. So everything that I want, all the way down here to number 25, which is the last band number I have plugged in. Then I hit sort, and I want to sort it by the sire, which is in column J. So I'd pick sort by J, and let's see here, and just hit OK, and now it's in alphabetical order. So you can see that let's see, AU09 ABC 123 has produced 4 babies, or four babies with this mate. Another thing you can do, these are already on this list in order right here, but you could also do it. Oh, I didn't mean to sort this right here. Let's go back. I forgot about that. This basically just numbers our sheet so you know where you're at. So we don't want to sort that because we don't want to take it with us when we sort everything. You want to leave that line where we can tell where we're at on the sheet. So let's try this again. So we go by J, and let's say that when we sort it by sire, like the individual babies, the band numbers are out of order for some reason. So you look over here and your band number is an E. So next you want to go by E. Or you can sort it however you want to. It'll do J first, and then E, and then you even have a third option to sort it by if you have a whole bunch of columns in different ways that you want to do it. So now it is not only sorted by sire, but then it is also in numerical order. And this was left alone since I didn't highlight it. So now it's still 1, 2, 3, etc. So that's pretty simple. I like to use the buttons up here and just, go down the list. I haven't used OpenOffice enough to where I'm used to, I just go up here and find all these buttons. I mean, they're pretty straightforward, bold, italic. If you just hover over it, it'll tell you what it does. But, I don't know, maybe I'm old school and I like to go up here. So, next, I thought it might be important, if you don't know how to merge cells, that basically means, right here. Instead of having the words inventory date in this cell and the date that you're talking about in this cell, you can merge it into one cell. So you're going to highlight this 2 cells or however many you want to merge into one big cell. And you can go up here and find it, but I already know that the button is right here. So merge cells. And yeah. So now it's all one big thing. And this is also good, sometimes like over here, for example, we type in, hey, my name is Becky. Well, that takes up, it's in one cell, but it spills over into these other 2. One thing you can do to make it nice and neat is just make this one bigger, but then you notice all the other cells underneath it are that big too. Maybe you don't want that. So, bring it back to the normal size. So instead, if you just want to make all of this one thing, then again, you merge it. And all you gotta do is just click it again to unmerge it and undo everything. So we're gonna get rid of that. One thing to keep in mind is merged cells do not sort. So if for whatever reason this was somewhere down in here, I don't know. Let's say maybe you wanted to make these 2 one cell for some reason. Maybe instead of making this one big enough to fit all your band numbers in it, maybe you went and made all these little ones into one big thing so it would fit. If your whole row is going to be that big to accommodate for your band numbers, then you might as well just, widen the whole column itself. But I'll show you here. So let's sort all of this again and see how it acts with that merged cell. And of course, whatever your last option was, it usually keeps it and doesn't change it for you, so you can always just quickly sort it the same way if you mess up. It'll say you can't sort merged cells. So that is why when it comes to doing this kind of stuff, unless it's something that I'm not going to sort, like this inventory date, I just widen the columns to make it big enough to show all the info. So I'm going to unmerge this and put it back to normal, which that messed it up. Let's see, what was it? It decided to put it all into the first cell when I unmerged it. But that's okay, no big deal. So I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, hyperlinks. So like I said before, none of these birds are real. This is all just a bunch of fake band numbers. But, you know, I'm going to use my own pictures of my real birds to show you how to link them anyway, even though it won't really match up. You know, my dad likes to link pictures of the actual birds to, you know, all the little band numbers so that he can just click on one and it automatically bring up a picture of the bird. You know, that way you don't have to go down to the loft and actually look, you can just see it right in front of you. And the way that you do that is that you click whatever cell you want the hyperlink to be in, and then you go up here and press the hyperlink button. Oh, if we'll do it, there we go. And here you can see you can link it to even like web pages or email addresses or, you know, whatever you want to do. But for this, we already have the pictures saved to our computer, so we're going to go to Document, and we're going to click this button over here so we can go find the picture. And I've already got, you know, it where it's supposed to go because I've already went here and tried this before. So this is where I keep all my breeder pictures. These are most of my birds anyway, not all of them. But let's just pick the first one and go with that. So we click the picture we want, press open, and it'll bring it up right here. The thing about this is, I don't know if there's a way that you can keep this text in here and link it just to that. I imagine you'd probably have to go and highlight the text to do that before you do all this. But let's just go ahead and do it from where we're at right now. If you were to press apply right now, it would put it automatically right here out beside. And I don't want that. I want it to be the band number. So I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to change it to AU09ABC123. And I'm going to apply it again. And now it looks the way I want it to. So I X this out. I'm going to go in here and just get rid of the extra stuff. And there we go. Now every time we click this, as you can see when you hover it over, it, sorry, it'll tell you where you're going to go. But you click on it, and there you go. There's a nice big picture for you to look at. Hyperlinks keep everything nice and clean, so you don't have a bunch of pictures everywhere. You can just click on it and it takes you where you want to go. Something to keep in mind though, if you ever move the pictures or rename them, that can break the link. And what that does is when you click on it, it'd bring up a little notification that says, hey, we can't find the picture, we can't find the file that you want to open. And when that happens, you just need to go back in here and do it again and pick wherever the picture is currently, under its new name or its new location, whatever, and relink it and everything will be fine. That's why we keep all of our breeder pictures in a folder labeled breeder pictures. And I go ahead and name them all, their band numbers, and I leave it alone. But of course that also means that if I send, you know, if all of mine are linked right now, which they're not, if all these were linked and then I were to send this file to you, you wouldn't be able to open it because you don't have my pictures. It's directed to the pictures on my computer. So even though, for example, when my dad sends me these files updated with the inventory, you know, it'll be where you can click them and it'll be set to the same pictures that I have, but since they're on his computer and he linked them to his pictures, well, it won't know where to go on my computer, even though they're the same pictures. So I guess you just need to keep that in mind whenever, like maybe if you're moving it over to a new computer, or if you send it to somebody for some reason and they wonder why the links aren't working, well, that's why. And another thing you can do, you can also copy this and you can paste it. Yes, you want to overwrite it. Maybe you just want to paste it for all of these. So you'll highlight the remaining two and paste. Yes. Well, now all those, or if you click them all, they'll come up. So that's a nice easy way to do it, so you don't have to go through the whole process again. Just right click it, copy, and then you can highlight all of the ones that you want to copy it to, and then right click and paste. Or do what I do, Control C for copy and Control V for paste. Nice and easy on my laptop. So I think that's about it. The only other thing I can think of right now that might come in handy in making your own spreadsheet to organize your birds and stuff is maybe you want to underline a row, underline something. One thing that we do, my dad does usually, I took it out before I started sorting stuff, is like maybe every 5 birds or something, he'll underline the whole row. That way it's easier to kind of keep your place because you're only working with 5 numbers at a time as you look down the page. So the way that you do that is, let's say we want to stop at number 5, so we want to underline this row, the whole row, or you can just do one cell at a time, or you can highlight just the ones that you want to underline. That way you don't have lines going all the way out here. So anyway, we're going to highlight what we want, and we're going to right click it and go to Format Cells. And here you get to do all kinds of stuff, as you can see. But what we want to do is we want to do the borders. And if you click different parts of this, you can do all kinds of borders. In between each cell, you can do every cell boxed in. You can do just like the whole row boxed in itself. But what we want to do, we just want to do this side, which will be an underline for the whole row. All the cells that you've highlighted will have this underline. And you can also choose how thick you want the line to be, but for this I want you to be able to see it really good, so let's pick this one. Nice and bold line. You hit OK, and now you see that you have a nice divider here. You can do that every 5 birds, and it'll just sort of help if you have, like, oh, I don't know, 100, 200 babies that you're trying to look through at the same time. Even though everything's numbered over here to the side, that's a lot for your eyes to look at one time, so this might help. It's also nice because you can also do the same thing to the headers, and that'll probably make it look more professional, more neat, I guess. If maybe you want all of this nice and separate, do the same thing. Maybe we want to make it even thicker. You can do something like that. You can just play with it. Spreadsheets might look intimidating, especially when you have a program that has a whole bunch of buttons and stuff at the top, but just work with it. Play with all your options. You can hover over stuff and it'll tell you what it's for. Just play around with it. There's always go under edit, and there's always undo right here, and you can just undo all the way back to the beginning. I mean it goes back pretty far, if not all the way back to the very first change that you made since you opened it. So that's handy. You can also highlight stuff. Let's say this bird I think is going to be a race winner, so let's highlight everything about it, and that'll be the background color. It doesn't say highlight anymore. I want to make it yellow, so there we go. Maybe I don't want all this extra stuff over here, so I'm going to undo it, and I'm just going to highlight the actual information that's on the sheet instead of all the empty stuff too, and do the same thing. You can do individual cells, or you can even change the font color. Maybe we want to make it green, make it pretty. I don't know why, but I do that on some of my other sheets, but I don't really need it for this one. But yeah, just play around with it. Have fun. You'll get used to it and you'll learn new stuff on your own. Or you can always look up tutorials on YouTube. That helps. So that is it, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I hope it helped you, especially Albert, since he's the one who wanted this video in the first place, or at least wanted a little bit of help, and I decided to take the opportunity to try out this new program and make a nifty little video. Sorry it's not very professional sounding or looking, but oh well, I tried, and hopefully it'll help him and anybody else who might have been wondering about some of this stuff. So I will go, and yeah, thanks for watching.